Last night was a sleepless night here in Israel with 5 volleys of Iranian missiles going all through the night. You know, most of us are looking at Iran right now. We're not really thinking about something else. There is a massive buildup here in Judea and Samaria, specifically of what could be called an 8th front of the war. Sleeper cells inside of Judea and Samaria are much larger than what people actually think. There's some 300,000 armed individuals here, a part of 22 different terror organizations, which are all sponsored straight out of Iran. Today we're going to go take a look and show you what's actually going on here and why these checkpoints, why gates are closed at Arab villages, what's going on here on the ground, which many of you are concerned about. We're certainly concerned about it here, so come on with us and we'll show you a little bit of what's going on. So behind us here is the town of Nablus, the biblical city of Shechem in the Bible. You know, many people wonder, how in the world would Iranian weapons, these smuggle routes, get weapons all the way to here? I mean, that just sounds crazy. Israel's a relatively small country. The border, you'd think, would be pretty well secured. But no, there are many places over the years where smugglers have brought in thousands and even hundreds of thousands of weapons. We saw it in Gaza. Well, it also happens here locally in Judea and Samaria. These smuggle routes from Iran through Syria, Jordan, and into Israel through the Jordan Valley. It's a very porous border, unfortunately, and they're working on that to get it more secured. But the fact is thousands and thousands and thousands of weapons have gone in directly to this town. This is one of the most armed towns in Judea and Samaria, next to Jenin, just north of us here. This is an incredible fact that most people are very unaware of, that these people are so armed. More than 300,000 illegal weapons. We're not talking about weapons that were brought over in the Oslo Accords and that were sanctioned to give to the Palestinian Authority. No, these are 300,000, more than 300,000 illegal weapons in the hands of the 22 terror organizations that are operating just below us right here.
Just to give you an idea of who we're talking about, where their sympathies and their patriotism lies, you have, let's say, 250,000 Arabs who live in Shechem, Nablus, below us. Probably close to 2 million Arabs in all of Judea and Samaria. Now, their sympathies lie largely with Hamas, and we know this because a poll conducted by the Palestinian Center for Policy and Survey Research found, and this is 2025, so pretty updated numbers, 67% of Palestinians in the West Bank expressed support for Hamas. Also in 2025, in October, 80% of West Bank respondents opposed disarming Hamas. So I'm trying to figure out how that goes together there. If 67 actively supports Hamas, but 80% of them oppose disarming Hamas, then it seems like that number could actually be higher. Also in 2025, 53% of Palestinians overall said that they supported the attacks of October 7th. And we also know right after October 7th, those numbers were much higher. So as far as the people just below us in Nablus and Shechem and all of the Arab towns, villages, and cities in Judea and Samaria, their sympathies and their support lies exactly with terrorist organizations.
And more than that, aligned 100% with the Iranian regime to destroy and annihilate the people of Israel. And I'll point to this exactly. When the rockets are flying over, which they did so many times last night, if you go outside anywhere in Judea and Samaria and you listen, what will you hear? You'll hear the cheers of the 2 million Arabs that are all cheering on the Iranian regime's war of annihilation on Israel.
So rockets are flying everywhere. There's just shooting over our heads like just an insane. But what's unreal is the Arab village just below me here has erupted with cheers and whistles and screaming and celebration. Fireworks can be seen in the distance. You hear thousands of rounds of gunfire as well. Anybody ever thought that these guys were friends? It's being made clear right now.
So as we're driving out of the Samaritan village, about 100 yards or meters that way is the gate that goes into Nablus or Shechem. And we're driving back towards the Jewish community. We'll be at that front gate in about 90 seconds. So you realize how close 250,000 Arabs who largely support Hamas, and where there's so many thousands of illegal weapons from Iran, are sitting in a city and a terrorist hub that is literally a 2-minute drive from the front gate of a Jewish community in Samaria.
All right, so if I was standing next to this fence anywhere else in the world, you'd think I was at a massive border. No doubt about it. This thing is huge, covered in this razor wire, like ridiculously, bottom to top, over the top. This is a border fence anywhere in the world. But here's the fascinating thing is we're not at any border. We're in the heart of Samaria, in the middle of Israel. And what in the world is this thing doing here? There's an Israeli road that drives right here beside us here. Israelis just drove past us. And this is to secure the Israelis that drive on the Israeli roads inside Samaria. This massive fence. So what's on the other side is pretty obvious. It's a terrorist jihad town of Sinjil. And Sinjil is such a jihadic town that they had to build this massive fence along the highway here just to keep these jihadists from attacking Jews. Now, not only this, but after the war broke out with Iran, since you have all these Iranian sympathizers here, the thought is that, wait, these sleeper cells, these 22 terror organizations could bust and they could attack simultaneously to Iran. You heard the cheers. You know what side they're on. There's hundreds of thousands of weapons, illegal weapons, not even counting the Palestinian Authority weapons that are so-called legal. These gates over here are around all the Arab villages. And many people have a problem with checkpoints. But let me tell you what, these are the life of the Jewish people. If you cannot stop this aggression of the Palestinian Authority or the illegal weapons flow here, the terrorist organizations from having access to Jewish people, you've got to be able to stop it. And this is what happened all throughout Judea and Samaria. These gates closed and still remain closed, many of them still today.
Pretty much every entrance to an Arab village in Judea and Samaria has a gate like this. If a war breaks out, terrorist activity goes up, the gates close and they get locked by the IDF. Usually sometime after that, when things get more peaceful, they open. So like right now, even 10 days into the war with Iran, we're driving around, we're seeing a lot of the gates now starting to open, whereas like yesterday, day before, most of them were closed. This one's still closed, but that's how it works. Times of peace, nobody's killing anyone, everything's open, Arabs are free to move about. War, terrorism increases, gates shut. That's how the checkpoints work.
To me, this just says it all right here. If there's a town that you need big pillboxes and IDF points and security points to be able to manage the people in the town, you got a bigger issue. It points directly to terrorism. There's so much terrorism, potential terrorism, just active and humming in these towns that you need this kind of infrastructure to put in place to activate at a moment's notice from the security perspective. And that's what you have here because of the Iranian influence, the Iranian smuggling, the Iranian fuel that's promoting terrorism, even now, right here inside Judea and Samaria. Just outside the town of Hawara here. Now, this town's been known for terrorism for ages. All kind of crazy stuff has gone on here against the Jews. Now, here's the reality of what that is. The IDF's concerned that these jihadists are actually going to attack. So what do? They close the gates. What about the areas they can't close the gate? There's no gate here. Well, they literally have come in with bulldozers and piled dirt here just to close off any access point that a jihadist would have to attack Jews. They can't drive. They can't. You saw October 7th in those trucks. That's what they're worried about here. Having access points from these villages to be able to access Jewish areas has got to be closed. Now, you don't believe me that they're doing training around here for the purpose of completing that Iranian mission? Remember, there's just a proxy force here. This stuff is going down here. Training, Palestinian Authority training, right here on the ground. Unbelievable stuff. You got to see this. You know, this front's not talked about a lot, but it is one of massive significance that needs more attention. The international community is really asleep to this fact. Thousands of Israelis have been killed at the hands of terrorism over the years. Now, this is the most dangerous thing in Judea and Samaria, and potentially all of Israel, is this threat that we've just exposed now to you today. The good news is that by Israel defeating the head of the snake, as many call it, the Iranian regime that is sponsoring this terrorism against Israel, this could indeed stop. That's the good news. But hey, we don't know where it's going from here. We're just day 10 of the war, and we're praying to God that this war will end in Iran, which will effectively end this horrific war that's being waged right here as really an Iranian proxy that's been activated here on this side. We're going to pray for the end of this war very soon.
Guys, this might all sound very dark, very scary, dangerous, especially here in Judea and Samaria, but let me tell you something positive and exciting. Israel's winning the war. God is at work, especially in the biblical heartland where the Bible and prophecy is coming to pass right before our very eyes. The Jewish people are coming back. More than 500,000 Jews live in Judea and Samaria today. The agriculture is coming back to life. People are coming, people just like you, tourists, volunteers, and for every tree that's planted, every farm that's established, every Jewish community that's established here, and every tourist, volunteer, or visitor that comes to Israel's heartland, that means violence, terrorism, and wars are going down, and beauty and life and restoration is coming back to the land of Israel. So we're a part of that. You can be a part of that as well. Guys, make sure you subscribe, make sure you're following along, and come visit Israel. Come visit the biblical heartland of Israel through one of our programs even. Just go to theisraelguys.com and check out how you can connect with Israel today.